This channel is for immature audiences only. It is not for children, only for childish adults. We might play some video games that kids also like, but we say words like fuck and shit with alarming frequency and make crude, inappropriate, and morbid jokes all the damn time. Level 0 NPCs assumes no responsibility if your idiot spawn watches this and gets traumatized.
That looks and feels pretty.
In some kind of subconscious desire for chaos, instead of hovering over the record button on Audacity, I was briefly hovering over the end call button on Steam, just because they're the same color.
I do that.
They're
all the
both
time.
red. That is true.
Well, yeah.
Record seems to be the one button that is allowed to be red that isn't stop, and it probably shouldn't.
It is weird, come to think of it.
Yeah.
But I get, like, in Audacity, green is play. So red can't be... I think it's one of those analog things, the red light on the camera to show that it's filming.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have the technology for a green light at that time.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, no!
The color green was only recently invented.
Yes.
That's fine.
This is one of those, like, overused pedantic anecdotes, but just in case anyone hasn't heard it, that is actually true of the color orange. It is derived from the fruit, not the other way around. The reason like robin redbreast, red foxes, red-haired people, all clearly orange animals. Human beings are orange-colored
animals.
apes.
Yeah.
The reason it's called red is because there was no word for orange in the English language. It was just reddish yellow. Even though it's a fucking secondary color. Like, green has a name, purple has a name, not orange.
Are orangutans not named after the color orange?
I don't know. They seem to have a similar etymological root. I'd have to look that up.
Orangutans.
Yes.
Holy fuck. I did not see the most... I did not see Spivey's comment about making up Canadian holidays. Fuck. This is going to be we're going to have a long episode. It's going to be fucking great.
Something else in terms of like the symbology of like controls and stuff is I like the PlayStation controller with the X is the X is confirm, right? Not dismiss. Or which? Is it dismiss or I can't remember which.
Yeah,
it depends on the country that you're in.
Yeah.
In Japan, the X is canceled.
See, that's what I would think. That would
and
be
the
my
button
initial.
at the bottom of the cross is the cancel button. Which is why on the Nintendo Switch and all previous Nintendo consoles, the bottom button has been cancel and the right side button has been confirm. Which is also why the circle button is, or it is the circle button on PlayStation. Yeah. Similarly, the square is meant to denote a menu, I believe. Yeah. Like a piece of paper or something like that. And I'm trying to recall what the triangle was meant to be. But I'm drawing a blank. I used to know.
But the X is confirm or dismiss?
No, X is dismiss. It was just when it ported over to North America, having been made in Japan by Sony, they didn't reconfigure the buttons to be different. They just left the X on the bottom and the square circle on the right. And North Americans, because presumably because the Xbox was ruling the roost at the time, they just decided that they would follow convention and have the bottom button be the confirm and the right button be the cancel, instead of following Nintendo's Nintendo's example, because I believe at that time it would have been the GameCube that was big.
GameCube.
Or possibly the Nintendo 64, but neither one of those had a conventional controller layout. So
they had A, B, X, Y.
Yeah.
Orangutan comes from the Malay words orang meaning person and hutan meaning forest. It just means forest person.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Which is very... I should have known that because I was familiar with the
Orang Pendak.
The Orang Pendak, which just means like short person. It's like a wee Sasquatch.
Oh
shit!
Huh.
Well, there you go.
I should have trusted myself. Like immediately, I was like, "Isn't it more like Orang Pendak?" And Yeah, it was. Although the Orang Pendek is Indonesian, so I don't know if there's a common root to the name or not.
I feel like my assertion that the PlayStation followed Xbox's convention must be wrong, because I'm 99% now thinking back that the PlayStation predates the Xbox.
I feel like it did, but I don't know anything about consoles,
Yeah.
but I do feel that. For what it's worth.
Yeah. I didn't get an Xbox until I was in university. I had a PlayStation when I was in high school. So...
Nothing matters, y'all.
Nothing really does matter.
Yeah.
Everything is arbitrary.
Yeah, and nothing could matter.
No, it's
Which
impossible.
But we can pretend that's all we really do as a people. Welcome back,
Nothing
everyone.
is truly important.
And just to conclude, orangutan versus orang pendek, it looks like Malay is a commonly spoken language in Indonesia. So yes, likely. Orang pendek and orangutan.
Ooh.
Which probably the myth of the orang pendek is probably just an orangutan. It's probably what it was.
And that's the table leg theory for today.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You're
everybody.
right, of course. But it's
like,
the worst possible answer.
If you're looking in the world for something more magical than an orangutan, there's something wrong with you.
That's also true. Yeah, I like orangutans.
Orangutans are fucking magnificent creatures. Like
they're amazing. You ever seen one with a diaper?
No.
This guy's wrong.
Yeah.
little baby ones. Yeah.
Little baby ones with diapers. Yeah. Hey, everybody! Welcome back, you guys. You friggin' guys.
All the people in this game are very orange. I wonder if it's a Planet of the Apes orangutan situation.
Speaking of orange, yeah.
As you can tell, we're in great shape.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with your foolishness. I tried to do that 3 times. My niece is none of your business.
None of your beignet?
No, my niece is none of your business.
I just made a plaintive fish-like gesture to indicate that my partner should bring me the Kashmiri apple fries that just arrived.
Oh my gosh, I want that.
Well,
Wasp or
you
no
won't know what
wasp,
they
I'll do
taste
it.
like, but you will know what it sounds like to
man.
eat them.
Oh, great. Yay.
Get ready for some Apple confectionery ASMR, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it right up here on the mic so you can hear the very particular squishy crunch that these Kashmiri apple fries make.
Ooh, a squnch.
Okay, why don't you explain that? Because I think you were explaining what they were before we were recording.
No, quite possibly.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can get it from context.
All right, fuck it.
You see the Colonel sitting in his room.
Yeah, we just did.
Yes.
Hey, did you know, y'all, we have a new viewer.
Yay!
Yeah,
Welcome.
a brand
That
new
has happened
fan.
a large number of times recently, but we're always delighted that it happens.
And I like it, but I like it when they announce themselves.
Absolutely. And welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome to the show. Specifically, big shout out to Amberling. Welcome.
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 Good luck on your gigantic cross stitch piece.
Well, I know what that's like. I've done a cross stitch of one of the pieces of background arts in my game and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never done it. Seems like fun.
It's
People
super
do-
fun.
People keep doing it all the time, so it must be fun.
People do it on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't do it by accident.
Most
Hardly
of the
anyone
time,
ever
yeah.
does it by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of accidents one after the other for that to happen.
Yeah. Oh,
What is
God!
happening around here? You have discovered poor Fifi and Jeeves laying dead on the floor with their spilled drinks nearby. You don't like the looks of this at all.
How were they standing such that their legs ended up that way?
Maybe they
That's
were
hot.
thrashing in
So
their
hot.
death throes.
So
Maybe
hot.
they were skizzering.
Oh my God! I can't believe how hot this is. It's so hot. Look at them. Oh. Look at them. They were just in the prime of their lives.
Look at Fifi. If it's not readily apparent how Jeeves and Fifi died, as there are no wound marks... Oh, it's not readily apparent how Jeeves and Fifi died, as there are no wound marks on their bodies.
Clearly
Look
they
at Jeeves.
patched each other's heads together.
Yes,
Clearly.
it's not readily...
Maybe they tripped each other and fell and hit their heads?
Yeah, they went BAM!
They kissed
Right.
with such force that they both died of concussive trauma.
Yes, they threw up each other's organs into each other's mouths.
Oh, they just full
like-
sea cucumbered one another.
Yep.
Oh, see,
That's
I was
my
going to go
theory.
like Toad, but yeah, that too.
Oh, like Toad.
It
like,
appears... Yeah, like when toads eat poisonous things or things that are bad for them, they'll just
I thought you meant
vomit up
from-
their entire stomach and
Yeah.
clean it off with their hands and then put it back in.
I thought you meant from Mario, but that makes way more sense. Now
Yeah,
that you mention it. Yeah.
It appears that Fifi and Jeeves were drinking cognac when they died.
Frogs and other
we
amphibians
actually-
are sort of the perfect mixture of adorable and horrific.
Yeah?
Like, you couldn't ask for a more perfect monster than an amphibian. But also, there's something kind of charming about an animal being like, I don't like what I just ate, and just producing their stomach and wiping it off with their pudgy little hands and then pushing back inside. There's something, I don't know, it's disgusting, yet kind of sweet.
It is the textbook definition of horrifying. It is body horror. But, a cute thing doing body horror. I mean, that's a whole thing, right? Look at cognac. A strange white powder has collected in the bottom of the cognac decanter. Get decanter. You want nothing to do with it? No, I do want something to do with the cognac. I want to pick up
cognac.
evidence.
You need to taste that, yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's save the game. Questions. Get cognac. Cognac. Cognac.
Yeah, I don't think she will.
Drink cognac.
I think, though, you can examine the decanter with the magnifying glass. However that parse is supposed to happen, I forget what you need to exactly write.
Bending over the cognac decanter, you carefully examine it with the monocle. Yes, here are two clear fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God you have
Examine.
a monocle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like all fingerprints, if you
Examine.
cross your eyes just right, they spell out their owner's name.
Examine fingerprints. Bending over the
Right.
cognac decanter, you carefully...
We know that this has been touched at some point by somebody. Maybe one person, maybe two. We don't know.
Yes.
Can you wait? You didn't sniff the fucking bottle. Come on.
Sorry, I haven't been sniffing many things recently.
I know. Aw, we don't detect the
Sniff.
smell of almonds.
Sniff drink.
Can we loot the bodies?
This cognac smells overwhelmingly of poison.
Fifi. Sniff. Jeeves.
Mm.
Detangle Fifi and Jeeves. Search Fifi. You're not close enough. Of course I'm not. What kind of a world would this be if the game would pathfind to the thing that I'm asking to pathfind to? You thoroughly examine Jeeves and Fifi's body. It is only one body, but cannot see how they might have died. You are very puzzled.
I'm not.
They're sharing one body.
They're
That's
sharing
why
one
their
body.
legs are touching.
Their legs are so tangled that they've become a human rat king.
Is this what sex is?
Well, being a cake being,
Human
maybe, yeah.
I don't like this.
They're joined forever now.
Okay. Well, it's time to leave so someone can move the bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to get the poisoned cognac so I can actually show somebody some real
Sure.
stuff.
I believe that that you want to do that.
Yeah, I do too.
The game
It definitely
will
seems as
never
though
let you.
it kind
There
of
are
seems
many
as though
things
the
I
game
have
is gonna
wanted
have
to
the
do.
bottle and the bodies disappear.
Yeah.
Restart.
Yeah, let's get
Record.
some mood going here, man.
Yeah.
Turn off Victrola. Yes,
Oh.
I am. Could not be.
You're
I could scarcely
right
be
up
closer.
on that Victrola.
Wow.
Get closer to Victrola. You can't get that.
Wow.
Climb onto side table. Climb what? Climb table. Climb what? It's a table. You know what a table is. We've talked about tables before. Let's look at the table. Some
Place
flowers and a decanter of
self on
cognac sit
Victrola.
on the table. Become record for Victrola. Game does not understand become.
If you had a basic verb system of like, look, get, become would be a really interesting basic command to
Yeah.
just throw around.
Become and ruin.
Become and destroy.
Become and destroy.
It's a good like adventure game if you are a mimic.
Unmake. Look at flowers.
A lovely bouquet of flowers lies on the table next to the cognac decanter.
Examine the flowers.
Ooh, examine flowers with monocle.
Monocle.
A lovely bouquet of flowers lies
Okay.
on the table next to the cognac
Can you
decanter.
just throw yourself down the stairs? Because, yeah. We're done here.
If you go back, are they gone now or what?
I think you have to.
Oh,
Yeah, you have
okay.
to switch the holes.
That would be one hell of a trick.
At that
I wonder
point,
if we can hide in Fifi's undressing cubicle.
Oh, that's a good idea. Type hide.
Hide. Try another way to say that. Be stealth.
Wait, can you hide in her armoire? Or under her bed? That'd be sneaky.
Go under bed. It is not clear.
Crawl.
Lay down. You're not the least bit tired. Crawl. That is not clear.
Open up the armoire. Let's get in there.
Can you pretend like you're dead with the
Armoire.
rest of them? And like,
just form a triangle. Just get a third cup.
Put your
Just
ankle
make it seem like
in
you were a
Jeeves-
thruple.
Yeah. Put your ankle in Jeeves' mouth and place your face in Fifi's hair. They'll have to
There's
move
nothing
you.
there for you. No, I don't want to pull anything out. I want to put something in that is me. Enter armoire. That's not clear. Get in armoire.
That's a delightful way to confuse a murderer, is to disguise yourself as a victim that they didn't anticipate. Like when you show up to dispose of the body and there's more dead people than you thought, that's gotta be a weird experience. But plausible for poison.
Yeah.
Well, just wait in the chair for them to show up.
Refuse to leave until something happens. Sit.
Yeah, I know it doesn't.
You don't feel like sitting around, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, we know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, okay.
Do we have any kernels of questions?
Oh my God.
We do.
We've got so many, but we would need an intro in order to do that.
We certainly can. Hold on.
Hold on, John.
Hold on.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We have so many kernels of questions. You don't even know. All right. The first one is actually from our new fan Amberling.
Yay!
Yay!
Hey, listen, Colonel's Bequestion. Have you seen Nine Zyme's new Laura Bow game that is currently in production? Sorry if that's already been asked. I don't think it has. But we must have
No.
talked about it, right?
I feel like it something we should have spoken about, but I can't recall ever actually mentioning it. Was it? I was going to say the Crystal Skull, but that is not the right thing. Was it the Dial of Destiny is also Indiana Jones.
The Mechanical
what is
Codex?
Mechanical Codex. Not a catchy name at all, but yes, I do believe that is the correct title. Laura Bow and the Mechanical Codex. Yeah. No, yeah, we're aware of it, certainly, or at least I know. I have been.
Yeah.
I've been keeping an eye on it quite closely, and we will absolutely be adding it to our list of Sierra Saturday remakes and modern reboots list.
If it ever sees the light of day.
When it does come out. Yes, if and when it comes out. I mean, like we've also got Space Venture on our list, and that's only partially released. We've got the rest of Hero U, which is also only partially released. So we'll see where we go there.
And Gold Rush 2, which is actually
Gold Rush 2, which is released.
Goodness.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd love to.
And the remake of Gold Rush as well.
the engoldening. Gold Rush.
I'd love to see more from the adventures of Borolo.
Hey, look, I'm looking at some of the footage that's coming out from the Mechanical Codex, and
It looks good.
Looks good. Laura looks great. Look at her go.
Yeah.
She's just zooming around.
I think the concern is that the company doesn't have a license to make a actual Laura Bow game. So
Don't they? Okay,
Oh,
I
wow,
wasn't
that's
aware of that. That feels dicey.
at least that's the last I heard.
like-
I don't really pay attention, but that at the very beginning, people were saying, "Well, do they have the license from Activision?" And there was like not really much said about it. So that's why I said if it's going to ever see the light of day, because I don't know.
I mean, it seems like the kind of thing that they could very easily extract from the Laura Bow mysteries.
Which is what they should have done in the first place, then, if they they didn't have the rights to do it.
Well, possibly.
But
I mean,
they do
or,
get more
or
eyeballs.
do it the other way around.
If they do it the other way around, yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that it is tentatively a Laura Bow title, I think has people like us talking about it, right? Like, there are many games that have come out that, in the adventure game space that we could be talking about, and we're not, because they're not some kind of spiritual successor to some Sierra game.
Like the
or another.
Crimson
There are many games
Diamond?
that I'm interested. Like the Crimson Diamond. Well, I would say Crimson Diamond at the very least is a spiritual. I don't know if successor is quite the right word, but certainly a spiritual homage to it,
Absolutely.
especially in the art style.
I wanted to make a Laura Bow game, but I knew I wasn't gonna get the license, so that's where I'm coming from. I'm like, I'll just make my own thing. She looks kind of similar.
Yeah.
Nancy Maple.
Well, well. Speaking of that, Julia, according to this, Amberling has added the Crimson Diamond to their Steam wish list. So.
Amberling, thank you so much. That's
Excellent.
so important and very, very, very nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done that yet,
absolutely should.
everybody, do it. Do it.
It does positively affect your visibility, especially close to launch and especially post-launch. If you have wish lists on Steam, the algorithm looks favorably upon games with a high number of wish lists going into launch, and then it looks at wish list conversions and reviews and what have you afterward.
Yeah.
But
Super, super important.
Yeah.
So thank you.
yeah. And anyone else who is new to the show or isn't already aware of the Crimson Diamond by some miracle, please do check out Crimson Diamond on Steam. I believe the demo is up on Steam, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Was it the first chapter of the game?
Yes.
There you go. So that you can see and play and experience the old school EGA text parser adventure game created by our very own Julia, in the flesh.
In the flesh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I installed the demo in case the algorithm cares whether or not people are installing the demo, but I am waiting to play the whole game, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I understand.
Potentially with you guys on the channel.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, yes, definitely with you guys on the channel. Potentially first with you guys on the channel.
No, I'm not touching your game, Julia. Until you're here. I'm not even looking at it. I wish listed it though.
Yay.
Everybody.
What I'll do is when we're playing it together, I'll fire it up on Steam and just have it there muted and playing, so it just shows that I'm sinking as many hours into it as I am.
Do you know what we should do? We should have a split screen and we should all play it simultaneously.
That would be interesting and strange.
Oh, and like we all choose different things.
Yeah, we all choose to go different places.
Like we just like race through. That would be like a fucking cacophony. Like we would all be playing very different protagonists with very different motives.
And you could just cry, Julia, as we just fuck up everything. So maybe not. Maybe we won't do that.
Eat plant.
Eat plant.
Break window.
But
Throw plant through window. Eat window. Break plant. I give up.
But I truly am looking forward to playing it.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely. I cannot say that I have that I'm waiting. I have been participating, albeit not to the amount that I wish that I could put the time in to do so. But Julia has sent me some early beta copies of the game to test out and try.
The full alpha is
I've been having some
complete
fun with
now,
that.
so sooner rather than later.
I saw that you tweeted that recently.
So it's
awesome.
playable from beginning to end. I just have to do the assets now for the most part, and then of course test. So yeah.
Which
awesome.
means quite possibly right after we complete Dagger of Amon-Ra, we might just jump into Crimson Diamond.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be fan-friggin-tastic. I'm so down.
I mean, we're still like a year out, knowing us.
Oh yeah,
No,
we're not.
yeah,
It's gonna be.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, so more questions for Glory. I mean, B questions for Colonels.
Colonel's
Oh,
Bequestion.
they left the poison cognac.
Oh.
A strange white powder has collected in the bottom of the cognac.
Oh, they
that's
left
good.
it. Good then.
Don't care for liquor. Remember?
That's a really funny description.
I don't remember. Sorry, do continue.
Right. Arthur B.
Didn't mean to
Farrett-
interrupt the game. Interrupt our conversation
okay.
with the game we're playing.
It's all right. I have way less to read in the game, so I usually spend my time going through the Colonel's questions. But I am paying attention. I've got it in the corner. Don't worry. I am paying attention. Arthur B. Farrett, regarding singing, came back in a big way in Quest for Glory 4 with Sitting on a Vampire. Or wait, was it Sucking, not Sitting? Either way, the song was about getting familiar with the vampire featured heavily. I'm sorry to say, the actual words were shitting like a vampire.
In Wichita, as
In
a matter of
Wichita.
fact. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, that's also true. Yeah, no, you're right. It's not a Colonel's question. I just wanted to bring it up because it was important. You knew that it was so horrible.
That song has special significance to me because when I first heard it, I was starting out on the keto diet. And it did remind me of how I imagined turning into a vampire would feel. Because it involves a lot of rocking back and forth on the toilet and making deals with God.
Like a vampire stealing time in Wichita. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, Lord C now. Colonel's P question. Given that Laura is, so far at least, rather ineffective in this game, unable to prevent someone from dying, not really able to get much information from other guests, or much find clues from the victims, which Sierra character do you think would do a better job if they had somehow no limits, time travel, magic portals can be used? Bonus points if you can give plausible explanation how they ended up in the 1920s Louisiana. Been invited to the estate instead of Laura. Which one would have done better? Any of them.
My first instinct, of course, is Sunny Bones.
Sunny Bones.
Sunny Bones!
And he would
could just
be
arrest
Lillian's
people.
weird boyfriend that she would bring to the plantation.
Sonny Bones, like he could just arrest people. He has a gun and handcuffs.
So he is a cop.
Yeah. So if there's murders happening, like if as a police officer he goes up to someone and it's like there's been a murder, they can't be like fuck you, Sonny. No, there isn't. They'd go fuck who invited Officer Bonds.
He would have, first murder, he would have gathered everybody in the same room at gunpoint.
There's an element of both.
He probably also would have called it in.
Yeah, because he's he's by the book. He's by the book.
Part of that is that
this place would be swarming with cops.
Laura's a young lady, and these people are all horrible and kind of just disregard her input entirely. So it's kind of a...
And it's like, what, 1904 or 1908 or something, so...
It's not a good commentary on these people, but I do think if a policeman with a gun was there, they would just listen immediately.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Or kill him, I guess. They might just kill him. The murderer might just kill Sonny Bones.
I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know how you would call it in because there's nothing to call in on here.
I guess there are... Well, wasn't there a telephone somewhere?
No.
I feel like there might have been. No?
I don't think so.
Yeah, if he's an old-timey policeman detective, then good chance he's getting got almost immediately.
Yeah, quite possibly. But I mean, like, of the entirety of the Sierra, like, hero group, effectiveness in sussing out a crime, probably Sonny Bonds. Effectiveness in defending themselves and potentially also, like, sort of doing the crime, I would say Questabert.
I was just going to say, I think Questabert would solve the riddle, but I think just as many people would die. It's just Questabert would kill a lot of them.
It's true.
He'd be just running people through. But like he'll have no problem just waiting for the murderer. Like that one time when he spent like 8 days trying to pick the same lock, nearly dying of exhaustion multiple times over. There's no way he would give up. He would just stay in that room until the murderer returned for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can stealth too,
Absolutely.
so he can hide.
He can do everything.
He's the ultimate.
Yeah, and if he was a magic build, like, the sky's the limit there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, like... He doesn't have a ton of ways to solve problems that don't involve killing somebody, though.
Well, the magic user, he could, like, charm everyone here, and so nothing bad happens as long as he's here.
He has the calm spell, that's
Yeah,
true.
He might be able to calm spell some people, but yeah, I think there'd be a body count still. If it was
there's no
Westerberg,
doubt.
for sure.
I think, like part of the problem here is that, Laura is in like 1920s Louisiana. And I think that's a real strike against her. Surrounded by horrible men. Like so much so that like the only explanation we could come up with how she's treated other than that is that she's made of fucking cake.
That she's a disturbing mockery of life. That's the only way... Other than her being a young woman that would justify this.
That's how they treat her, right? Like, they treat her like she's made out of cake. And then, like, it just, people keep fucking dying. But also, like, the game doesn't really allow you to do much.
It's true.
No character could do better with the same inputs.
By the game.
Yeah.
The game has certainly thwarted our attempts at doing basically anything that would be valuable.
I think that Roger Wilco would have discovered who the killer is by now. But
by accident.
By accident.
Yeah, he would have stumbled across it in like a funny way. Probably still some death, but also a lot of more comedy along the way.
Yeah, a lot more Delta Burke references.
Also, I don't necessarily know that Roger Wilco would try to solve the mystery. He's kind of a buffoon.
He would just try to escape.
I think he would just... Yeah, he would just kind of stumble around and more people would die, and it would just kind of become a bit.
Well, that's the whole thing. He wouldn't try to solve it, but he would. He'd end up doing it.
Completely by accident. As he's trying to
He'd
leave.
Mr. Bean his way to victory.
Yeah. Graham can't solve his way out of a paper.
Human hot dog, we know.
He'd kind of just,
There's hope for the kids, though. Maybe Rosella, maybe Alexander.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Rosella, I think.
Maybe even Valenice.
Yeah, Valenice.
Yeah.
Any of the King's Quest crew might be able to use some combination of swords and sorcery to butcher their way out of this murder mystery.
Sword, sorcery, magic. Although, I mean, to be fair, like, they die from stepping off of the second step of a spiral staircase.
So. Good point. They're actually more vulnerable than actually Laura is. They just seem to die way more easily.
Yeah, they're
She's made of cake. They're made of rice paper.
They're royalty, though, so maybe they'd have some social standing here in this house.
That's true. People might actually give them the time of day, assuming that they were still royalty from Daventry. Now, I mean, like, for the bonus round, we were asked, describing exactly how it is that they ended up there. Very easy to get King Graham or any of the folks from Daventry here. Similarly, also very easy to get Roger Wilco here, because, I mean, the Time Rippers was one of the games. Like, time travel is entirely with it. And space travel. I mean, like, yes, Roger Wilco is from Xenon. Earth doesn't even ever show up in the entirety of the game. But, I think we can safely say Roger Wilco could make it here via time and space travel. Magical portal. Lots of magical portals. Hell, fucking Genestic could probably send them here.
For Sonny Bonds, I would probably make it like his grandfather or something. Or just like not try to justify it. Just he's an old-timey detective.
Jedediah Bonds.
Yeah.
Jedediah Sonny, in quotes, Bonds.
I think the best chance, though, to getting to the bottom of this might be Detective Carey from Open Season. He's less by the book. He's a little more Daryl F. Gates. He's a little more.
He has about as much personality as Laura Bow, Cake Golem.
He might not keep the body count down.
No, definitely not. But he'd. No, you're right. He'd be worse.
He would show you some of the darker sides of police involvement for sure. Because wasn't Sonny Bonds more of like a more idyllic kind of policeman? You know. It's been a while since I've been through it, I guess.
They were both...
I mean, Lytton was just kind of a shithole in general. It's, there were a fair number of, like, deaths and crimes and things like that in Lytton. And, I mean, Sonny... Marie was attacked by that satanic cult in Police Quest 3 at the Oak Tree Mall, you know? His partner, Morales, was a drug pusher and nearly shot him at the end of the game. Like, there's a number of things that...
Yeah, you're right. Lytton was a shithole, wasn't it?
It was absolutely a shithole. Yeah. Lytton was awful, man.
Yeah.
It's no surprise that they just change it to South Central LA for Open Season. It's like there's very few differences. But less racially charged perhaps than Open Season. Still.
So
Sonny's been through some rough shit.
I think you need to. I think Julia's right. You need to throw some Rosella in there too. Rosella could do it.
She could do it.
Oh yeah. Although to be fair, like Detective Carey was, he was a homicide detective searching for a serial killer. Most of Police Quest was really like the Death Angel was a drug kingpin. Some people were killed, but mostly in drug-related violence, like Mario. I want to say Mario Ticelli, but Ticelli was Tony Danza. Maselli. Oh yeah, maybe Ticelli is right then. Actually, but it was Mario something or else. I think Ticelli was the Death Angel's actual name. But like that was just like drug cartel stuff all the way through. Whereas it was, serial killer with no real actual detective work done to capture the serial killer in Open Season. But like Bob Hickman, Bobby Washington, all of the other like John and Jane Does that like had their eyes glued shut and parts of their bodies removed and stuff like that. Like he was chasing a spree killer.
This feels like that, like a spree killer or a serial killer, so he could be perfect for this.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Although like Jesse Baines was not a serial killer. Like he killed like
Jesse Baines was a killer. He was a killer of many. I think he's called more of a mass murderer than a serial killer, though. Perhaps.
Yeah, they were all crimes of passion.
Yeah, and they were all crimes in furtherance of his like cult/drug empire. He was a serial killer in the same way that like El Chapo was a serial killer, you know?
I was reading the other day about the difference between murder and voluntary manslaughter. Because you'd think the term voluntary manslaughter. You killed someone.
It does sound
purpose.
very murdery, doesn't it?
That's pretty murdery. The difference is...
Are you allowed someone to die voluntarily, perhaps?
Voluntary manslaughter is when you are provoked. Could be a stranger, could be whoever, but someone provokes you. And to plead the case, you have to sort of prove that the person was provoked to an extent that any reasonable person would lose control. Right?
Oh, it's like self-defense kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, so if you find yourself in it could be self-defense, but killing someone in self-defense isn't necessarily voluntary manslaughter. It's where somebody does something so aggravating and infuriating that it says any reasonable person would snap, would become dysregulated and do something irrational, would begin to behave irrationally or become deranged. So it's the guy who played the Red Ranger in
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
The one where the one with the the animal themed Zords. I know they all had a certain animal
Voltron
theme to them, but
no.
Power Rangers.
I don't know any.
Manslaughter.
I know the Power Rangers : manslaughter.
No.
No, one of the Power Rangers cast was charged with manslaughter. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Voluntary
in.
manslaughter.
I know he was in Power Rangers. Tell me which Power Rangers.
He played Cole Evans on Red Wild Force Ranger on the
Wild Force.
on the
yeah.
Wild Force. Yeah.
Power Rangers Wild Force. He was the Red Ranger. What was weird about reading that is back when I was a teenager, I used to babysit these 3 brothers from the church where my dad was the pastor. And they watched like a shit ton of Power Rangers, and I'd never seen it before. It was one of several shows that I wasn't allowed to watch as a kid. So it was just kind of fascinating to watch like this. It was like the 4th or 5th incarnation of Power Rangers by that point, which I'd never seen before. The episodes I saw were fucking like stressful and depressing. Like, like the one I saw was like all of their like favorite Zords, which in that context were like quasi-sentient like robot animals, were being just like out and out killed, like just destroyed and unmade by the thing. And like they were trying to make Megazords from increasingly desperate combinations of their remaining Zords. Great storyline. Fucking depressing episode. And I remember that guy, like he's on Ricardo Medina Jr. as the Red Ranger was just like on his knees, like weeping and crushing the shattered remains of the gem that controlled Red Lion because it had been destroyed. And I was like, fuck, what is this show and why is it for kids? And anyway, he later voluntary manslaughtered his roommate.
Do you know how he killed him?
And why?
With a fucking sword.
He killed him with a Conan the Barbarian sword.
Yeah.
God.
So the story is that he and his girlfriend had retired to their room, and his roommate had broken in the midst of he had just broken down the door in the midst of an altercation. And just ran him through with a Conan the Barbarian sword. And it was a whole thing. It went on for a while, and eventually he served a few years for voluntary manslaughter. His lawyer argued that he was sufficiently provoked that any reasonable person would stab his roommate with a Conan the Barbarian sword.
Wow. That is fucked up.
So either he had a convincing case or a good lawyer. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. It's wild.
It's very wild.
It's such a weird defense. Like I kind of like that is a defense that exists because it's like in my defense, Your Honor, I was really angry. Mm-hmm. I was really angry, and he was really annoying.
If I were to like behead like Logan Paul, I could get off with voluntary manslaughter.
That's an interesting legal and philosophical question, but I don't know. I think he would have to provoke you directly. Because you'd have to go and track him down, I think that would make it premeditated. By the time you got there, it would be murder. You'd have to find yourself organically in an altercation with him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, like, yeah, if we ended up in the same place.
We need a special jingle for when I answer a question that no one asked. Because it's probably at least once an episode that happens.
Yeah.
Kind of like Hondo P Watch.
Hondo P Watch. Yeah. Well,
just a quick shut the fuck up, Alex jingle.
Well, we're going to get even more ads for feet.
Yep.
Idris.
Oh, is there another foot question?
Idris takes their coffee black.
Yeah. Black coffee's
black and bitter.
Pretty good.
Like their heart.
Black and bitter. Like Idris's heart.
Yep. That's it for all the questions from episode 15. I really like to reward the ones who comment on the first one. Because the second episode gets a lot more usually, although not this time. Not this time. You know? 26 comments on 15.
Amazing.
That is
on 16.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you guys if you haven't checked it out, there's a whole like conversation on Joseph Davies' thing about the celebrity references from like the 1920s celebrities. And there's a whole conversation between Natal Moral and Lord Senile about a whole bunch of like 1930s movies. It's crazy. It's awesome. Check it out. And stars. It's good. And Seth Wilson, congratulations on being first. It's what every first commenter wants, is to be acknowledged as being first. Well, this is your day, buddy.
You are fucking seen.
Yeah. You're fucking seen. You're seen. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Heck, I actually do. You watched the video, you looked at the comments, you noticed you were first, and you were excited about it. Good for
that's
you.
Great.
Man. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Great. What's fucked up is almost every time you do that on every video, like, you never get a response. Nobody will ever acknowledge it. Not us. We here at Level 0 NPCs see that you were first.
Yeah,
we
you were first.
Yeah,
you were the
first.
This has been
first commenter watch.
First commenter watch. Oh God, you know what feels good? Knowing we're never going to be famous enough to never do this. We're just feels good.
It's true.
You're never.
I feel like that's a very high threshold, though. Like, you know, I mean, our forward progress in video games would screech to a halt. We would have to have a dedicated podcast for like answering questions for glory, Colonel's Bequestions, and what have you, because like we do go through all of them, and that is why our playthroughs are so slow.
Oh well,
I think like up until Quest for Glory 1. Like, it was all playing the video game and talking about the video game. Now it's, like, all tangential conversations.
Well, we'd have to do 2 episodes and then a debrief episode where we just acknowledge comments and answer questions.
You know what we would do? We'd hire all the original PCs to help us with the mailbag.
In terms of never being too famous to do this, I actually think if we had even 50% more followers, we would actually have to do something. Like, we'd have to either pick and choose or have some kind of other format where we're able to answer those.
Well, when we took
actual mailbag episodes,
when we took ourselves off the adults only one, we really opened ourselves up, right? Like we're getting more than we've ever had.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyway, we got more Colonel's.
We're very appreciative.
But
yes, we do. But I think we're just about out of time for Colonel's Bequestions for this episode.
For this episode.
I get real joy imagining someone who's like, this time they're going to do it. This time they're going to get some gameplay done. And then we just do a mailbag episode.
I mean, we did though. Well, yeah, some of our mailbag episodes seen no forward progress, but
we did not bad. We got a few things done.
Yeah,
it's just
I'm trying to make some forward progress. It might be more frustrating because like it's hard to predict when the forward progress is going to happen. But
well, yeah, that was my
picturing
point,
that moment of intense frustration when we hit and that's it for this episode, and we're still here. Stop with the stories. I've had enough of it. Just gripping their desk, white knuckle, just. Fuck.
With much of this game, it is very accidental with the progress, so yeah, we never really know. Even less so than usual.
Well, Colonel's Bequest is particularly like that because there is no like puzzle. There's no specific goal. Like the goal in Colonel's Bequest is to wander around until you witness something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, well we'll come back. We'll answer some more Colonel's questions, and we'll do a little more play.
Some more kernels of questions.
More kernels of questions. God. You know?
Question to our PCs, though, on that topic, because, you know, it is a fair observation to say that we do spend an awful lot of time on kernels of questions, is should we start alternating, like, no kernels Bequestions episodes and gameplay episodes? Or, like, well, that is a gameplay episode. And mailbag episodes, like, either every other episode or trying to shove something in afterward or whatever.
That's a great question, Luke. So we're going to put it out to you guys. Would you rather see us do less or keep it all in one episode? Let us know below in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And just keep in mind.
Or just keep on doing
we're
what
going to
we're
do
doing.
whatever we want, but we like your input. Don't we, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, will probably like figure out which format works best, right?
Sure, except
There are some people out there that do prefer to see more game, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I do want that input. I hesitate to agree with this version of Matt, who's definitely bottom 5 Matt personalities for me.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, guys. Like, we're always in for your input, and that's definitely true. But the real problem with the whole situation is that unless there's a unanimous decision across the board, and I just don't think that's going to happen, then we can't really agree with any of you now, can we, guys? It's going to show favoritism.
This version of Matt would continue to talk like this while being chopped up by a serial killer.
Well, anyway.
Well, the thing that I think you fail to understand is that you really won't get away with this. I have a family. You don't have to do this.
Listen, everybody. We've all got opinions. We've all got life experience, and that's all that really matters. So leave us your kernels with questions below, and we're going to get to them, probably in a couple episodes. But coming up, we'll get some more crazy good kernels with questions, don't we, guys?
I think the top of the colonel's head comes off. He's got like a seam.
He
I think he could just open up the top of his head.
He's got a head seam. Julia, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
The longer I do that character, do you, the more you think you're going to leave, right? You're just never coming back.
I start sitting further and further back in my chair.
It's you know what it is? If any of us were within arm's reach of you, it would be sort of a voluntary manslaughter situation.
Yeah, that's
Any
true.
reasonable person.
Any reasonable person would be compelled to attack you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Stick and stay. All right.
Ugh, don't sully Stick and Stay with that fucking voice. That's our phrase. He can't use it.
He's not allowed. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.